Do you know YouTube never gets any better and it never gets any fucking worse? I was just been recording a video, just finished it. I'd said at the front at the beginning, this one's not got any drama in it. And then I look on at my the people I subscribe to, what videos they've put out, and I notice a couple of videos informing me that Woolly Bumblebee has felt the need to close her channel. Fucking hell, what a sense of deja vu, especially when you consider the circumstances, which is that she's got into an altercation with Bearing. She'd made a video criticising Bearing. Bearing has made a video criticising her. She's received a threat not just to her person or her partner, but to her children, and so she's felt the need to leave. Same circumstance as Philip Moriarty, of course, a couple of months ago. Now, I didn't comment on Philip Moriarty. Why? Because I noticed he'd closed his channel. I contacted him via email. He said to me, explain what had happened, but he said, look, I really don't want you making a video talking about this because I want to keep this as low-key. I just want to be able to disappear and make sure that none of this could materialise and become tangible, if you like. Okay, I respected that. I gave him my word, and so I didn't make a video. I'm not beholden in the same circumstances here, so I'm going to comment on this because I've got a few things to say with regards to this. So, this has resulted due to an altercation between Woolly Bumblebee and Bearing. Couple of little bits to say in advance of anything else. Woolly Bumblebee is quite abrasive and quite aggressive, and she will tackle people on either side. Not a good technique, really. If you want to do well on YouTube, be polarised, be blinkered polarised, and always push in the same direction. Little bit of cynicism there, but it's fucking true. If you hear anything today related to YouTube that's fucking true, that is it. She doesn't do that. That isn't what she does. In some ways, good on her for doing that. But on this occasion, she's criticised Bearing because of his use of, I don't know, still dredging up the fucking artwork thing, I think. He responded to her by dredging up something that was a couple of years ago, 2013, I think, where she was accused of taking money, I suppose, under false pretences for some charitable cause, and then not going through with it, but keeping hold of the money. I don't know the rights or wrongs of any of that shit, right, in case anybody's interested, and I don't really care. Several people have contacted me on Facebook with regard to this since Woolly Bumblebee really started on YouTube the last couple of years, asking me what I think. Why don't I speak to this person or that person? Honestly, it's not worth my time investing in finding out the truth of the matter, and I don't even know whether I really would be able to say at the end of it what the truth of the matter was. I'm still going to have to take one person's word over another at the end of it all, so I don't know. But what I know is they had a disagreement, but for some reason it couldn't just remain at that with them both making videos, and it's ended up with this threat being made. Now, she's included a copy of it on her blog. Let me read it to you, if I may. Hey bitch, I know where you live. And then presumably she's redacted her own address, which must be quite worrying if somebody includes your address there. I know where your kids go to school, even more fucking worrying, and she's redacted that, obviously. Right, I am going to come kill you, bitch. You can't accuse people like Bearing of stealing shit without consequences. Now you have consequences coming. I'm going to get you and your kids. I hope you're happy, cunt. I will be so happy to see you scream. Fuck you. I mean, that's fucking awful, reading that. And yes, I am talking about the grammar. But never mind the grammar. The fact that somebody's making threats to somebody's children is unconscionable. I don't know what kind of fucking person you've got to be to do that kind of thing, to be honest. The kind of person that needs their face scraping down a brick wall till a little bit of bone dust starts to appear, I would suggest. But this is what I want to do. Before I go on to the making of these kind of threats and how counterproductive I think they are, first off, with regard to Bearing's role in this, let me just read you something that Woolly Bumblebee wrote. She wrote, "My question to Bearing is why? Why did you feel the need to make that video? I'm a small YouTuber that doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter much. Who cares if I came out and agreed you stole Fresh TV's artwork? Who cares if you think you did something? If I think you did something crappy? I don't have any clout, any power, or any way to affect your life in any significant way. But yet you found that what I said to be so egregious, so harmful to your ego in some way, that you had to do a video where you dredged up old debunked shit from 2013, blah, 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 blah. And now I've been dogpiled by your little fans who I think I am the scum of the earth. Right, okay. Before I want to get on to the main issue here, I've got to say, I don't know if this is even in Bering's defence or what it is, but I don't think we can go down this line, right, of punching up, punching down, right? That like effectively, if you're a small, like I could make videos telling the Bearings and Sargon of Akkads or Lacey Greens or PewDiePie's even, although he just seems to be getting roundly defended at the moment. Nobody's criticising him, he's getting defended. But I can just criticise these people as much as I like. But they better not say anything in response to me, or because that's bullying. You know, I can stand there like some kind of, you know, first year at school kid shouting abuse at the older kids, but should they retaliate, you know, that's totally out of order. At the end of the day, my belief is whether you've got 1 sub or 1 million subs, right, if you're gonna stand there and start telling somebody that they're a right cunt for one thing or another, they have every single right to use their medium, their channel, to come back to you in exactly the same way. So Bering has every right whatsoever to come back and do exactly the same thing. If you're not happy with that, right? If you're really not happy with that, don't get involved. If you're not prepared to accept a Bering coming back with a video at you, having a pop at you in the same way, then don't make your video, is what I would suggest. Leave it to somebody else to do it. But at the same time, it's quite clear as a result of this that some channels with some subscriber bases are maybe more susceptible to it than others. But if you have got a large number of subscribers, there is a much greater chance that somebody is going to do something pretty awful, something beyond the pale. And this is, I suppose, the same thing that happened with this Sargon of Akkad tweet the other day. And I don't really know what the answer is, right? Because I don't want to say to anybody like Bering or Sargon of Akkad, you can't make tweets about anybody anymore. You can't respond to people. If somebody like Woolly Bumblebee makes a video calling you a cunt, you've just got to accept it. You've just got to take it on the chin, right? You can't respond in kind, because that isn't fair. That's unreasonable to do that. But at the same extent, we can't have things like this keep happening, can we? And the fact that it's working, and I understand why it's working. I understand why it's working, because if you're Woolly Bumblebee and somebody threatens you, you can decide that you're going to carry on regardless. If you're a partner and you want to say to her, no, just forget about that, keep making your videos. But when it's your children, you are responsible for their welfare. And when you're making a decision to potentially put somebody else in jeopardy, put somebody else in danger, that's a slightly different call to make. And I can quite understand the decision that she's made. I can quite understand the decision that Philip Moriarty made. So what are we going to do about this? I do think that content creators can do more. I think that what Sargon of Akkad said in his apology video was exactly the kind of thing that needs to be said more, with regard to making it resolutely clear, not only that people who write shit like this awful fucking letter, right, are not acting on the orders or the authority or the will of people like Bering, etc., but that people like Bering and Sargon of Akkad hold them to be the lowest of the fucking low. I don't think that that can be overemphasized. But the real point that I want to make is that everybody is going to lose from this, including the Berings of this world, because I've sat through this once with regards to how all this kind of began on YouTube, really, which was this atheist-Christian debate. And it was a vibrant debate. A vibrant debate with people on both sides arguing, but a fair amount of vitriol. And some of that vitriol got a little bit over the top. And there was a lot of really rather nasty dogpiling. I wish I could say that the reason that the Christians fucked off and stopped making their arguments was simply because they lost the arguments, right? And to some extent that happened. But you know as well as I do that Christians have been losing the fucking arguments for centuries, and it doesn't make it go away, right? So there's more to it than that. And I'm afraid part of it also was that there was a nasty bullying, hectoring element to it that went beyond simply the arguments. And I tell you who lost as a result of that. Everybody lost as a result of that. It became a bit like Big Brother, you know. The problem with the format of Big Brother is that the public are fucking idiots, right? And YouTube subscribers and viewers are fucking idiots. Not individually, but taken as a group. And I include myself in that. I'm a subscriber and I'm a viewer. Because we're like turkeys voting for fucking Christmas. We do what isn't in our interest. It's like Big Brother, where the public vote, right, to get rid of the actually the most annoying people and the nastiest people, but they're the people that make Big Brother worth watching. And then once all the decent contestants have gone, they hold their hands up in the air and say, oh, it's a bit boring now, it's hardly worth watching anymore. No fucking shit, it's hardly worth watching anymore, because you've just voted out all the interesting people, you fucking idiots. And that's the same thing that goes on here, if we're not careful. Because we're all enjoying these discussions. We're all enjoying a lot of this. Let's be honest, we're enjoying a lot of this drama. And people like Baring rely upon people like Woolly Bumblebee and some of the feminists that he criticised for his content. And I'm telling you, this has happened before and this could happen again. You can end up at a point where you go back to that well and you've actually bricked the fucking thing in. Right? Or if you haven't, your fans have. And that's not a very good situation to be in. Everybody loses as a result of that. I don't know ultimately how we deal with cunts like the person who have sent this letter, but we need to do something about it, because as it stands, I have a little boy, I'll be honest, if Baring did something that was really, really worthy of very, very heavy criticism on my part, I wouldn't give the same kind of very heavy criticism to Baring at the moment that I'd give to somebody like Steve Shives, because I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm going to have to stop using my channel anymore, where I'm going to have to stop closing my channel. I think that is regrettable. I'm quite certain that Baring would regard that as regrettable, that he would want to be criticised if he's deserving of that criticism. Maybe on this occasion he wasn't, but there might be a situation that he was, and that's going to be treated exactly the same by some of these people. So one thing that I know is that we need to try and find a way around this. I don't know what it is, but we fucking need to do something rather than nothing. Okay, I've talked for 13 minutes now, which is longer than I really ought to hold people's interest, but that's what needed to be said. Interested to know what you think about it. Take care. Bye for now.